Hi everybody, this is James of course. I just wanted to go over a couple of things that you guys need to know for your exam that's coming up here very soon. So I'm going to go over Unit 9 and I want to go over the vocabulary and the grammar in particularly so that you guys are prepared for that exam coming up. So Unit 9 covers a couple of different things. They cover regrets and solutions, and our grammar point here would be should have and would have. Something that maybe you should have done uh, or maybe didn't do that you thought you should have done. So these things here are very important when you're thinking about these regrets and outcomes. So be able to talk about those regrets and solutions, learn about and be able to use these should have and would have. These are modals actually, and we've talked about modals a couple of times in the past. So I'm going to skip all through this warm-up because we've already done it in class. And I'm just going to jump right into the vocabulary. So I want you guys to turn to page 56 in your book and go over these vocabulary words together. Now, these vocabulary words are basically some emotions or reactions that you might have to certain situations. So, for example, if we look at this picture here, we see somebody had spilt coffee all over their boss or perhaps boss, and there are different reactions to the situation going on here. So where would we plug these in? So one, for example, you see this man here, he's got some tissue or a handkerchief in his hand, and what is he trying to do? Well, he's really trying to be sympathetic toward this person here. So he's trying to be helpful, he's trying to be sympathetic, so this would be C, of course. Number 2, down here you see his face. He's kind of giggling a little bit. He's kind of laughing. He thinks it's kind of funny. So he might be amused with this situation here. And I don't know if I would like to have him as an employee. This man here on the television or this screen here, they might be doing a video conference or something. He seems to be a little bit confused. He's not quite sure what's going on here. So he's a little bit not knowing, or he doesn't know what's really going on. So that's what confused is. Number 4, of course, if you look at his face, you can see that he's a little bit irritated by that. I'm sure nobody would like to have coffee on their head, so it would not be fun. So he's a little bit irritated. This woman here, apparently she's the one that had done it, so she might be a little bit embarrassed by the fact that she had spilled coffee all over him, and might be worried about her job actually, but I think she'll be okay. The last one here, she's looking at her clock, she's looking at her watch, she's playing with her smartphone. She's not even considering this situation, so she would be somebody who would be inconsiderate in this situation here. So those would be some reactions that you might have to certain situations here. Some are good, some are not so good. So you might want to think about how you behave towards other people. There's some other words down here that you guys will need to know, and know which ones of these words describe actions and emotion or people's behavior in general. So if we look at these words, you can see that hurt would be a feeling. That's an emotion. When somebody hurts your feelings, you would feel that, and you don't feel very good. You feel upset about that. Okay, rude. Okay, rude would be considered a behavior, something that you do. Maybe this person right here would be considered rude. He thinks this is funny, and he's not very nice for that. I'm sure you've witnessed or experienced some rude people. Helpful. Okay, helpful is a behavior. Okay, of course. Relieved. Relieved is something that you feel after a trying time, especially after your oral presentations. You felt relieved. Uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is also a feeling. Okay, it's an emotion. Thoughtful is an act that you do. That's a behavior. Being grateful for something. Being grateful, thank you, thanking somebody for doing something for them would be considered a reaction or emotion. And being shocked about something would be a reaction too. So that'd be something that'd be more of a surprise. Okay, so those are the words that you guys will need to know for Unit 9. So please make sure that you go over them and make sure that you understand the words, okay, that are in this unit. And again, if you need any extra help, please look on page 138 and you'll see all the vocabulary words from Unit 9. Okay, so go over those and you guys should be okay. Okay, next part, let's talk about this grammar point that we have here for Unit 9. Okay, should have and would have. I'm going to just go over this PPT. You guys can just follow along. There's more extra information, more grammar help on page 133, so you guys can check that out too. Okay, so when do we use should have and would have? Well, we use should have and would have for a past imagined situations. We talked about regrets. Okay, something that you should have done, or maybe you shouldn't have done that. So we use these modals plus a past participle. There's our PP. Okay, for example, she should have gone to medical school. She should have gone to medical school. That means she probably didn't. She didn't go to medical school, but she should have. Maybe she should have studied for her medical degree and got a degree and became a doctor because she's really smart. She should have studied to be a doctor. She should have studied to be a doctor. There's our PP, our past participle right there. She would have been a wonderful doctor. She would have been a wonderful doctor. So here in these situations, these are sort of regrets and maybe a concern. Okay, if she would have gone to medical school, then she would have been a very good doctor, I'm sure. So make sure that you know how to use these. These are talking about something that they didn't do in the past that they have regrets about that they should have done. We use should have to express advice in the past as well. Implies a correct action was not done. You should have come to class. Okay, last week you missed class. You should have come to class. Okay, so that was sort of something that you need to correct. Okay, it's a correct action that was not done. You didn't come, but you should have gone. They shouldn't have lied to the teacher. They lied to the teacher, and we know that lying to the teacher is not good, but I'm sure it happens all the time. So they shouldn't have lied to the teacher. They lied, but they shouldn't have. Okay, so again, it's an action that needs to be corrected. You need to change that action. We use would have to suggest an alternative. Okay, it's an alternative to an action that was already taken. Okay, maybe somebody did something, and then, well, what would you have done? Well, maybe I would have done something different. Why didn't you come to class? I would have come to class. Why didn't you? This person didn't come to class. But if I were you, if I was that person, I would have come to class. Why did you lie to the teacher? I wouldn't have lied to the teacher. Okay, so again, you're suggesting an alternative. You lied, but I wouldn't have lied. Okay, so you're giving them an example as well. Okay, so those are your modals here. You should have and would have. Now turn to page 58 in your book. Jump to page 58 and we'll go over those. Okay, so let's take a look here, see what we got. Okay, as usual, make sure that you guys look through these grammar boxes here. They're very nice. And also do the grammar reference on page 132. They're very nice too if you want to learn extra information about this grammar. Okay, so jump into these. Okay, it says complete the sentences you should have or shouldn't have, and the verb in parentheses. So if we look at number 2 here, it says, I, blah, 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 give my boss my number. Now he calls me on Sundays. So this person seems a little bit upset that the boss calls him on Sunday. So should have or shouldn't have? Well, you probably shouldn't have. I shouldn't have given my boss my number. And I'll just show you guys the answer key right now so that we can just look at those together. Okay, so I'll put this over here. Okay, now, of course, should have would be the first one here. For number 2, shouldn't have given, because now this person has regrets. I gave him my phone number and now he calls me on Sundays. Okay, number 3, okay, call is our verb. We blah, blah, blah Kim on her birthday. I hope she isn't hurt. Oh, another regret here. Something that she didn't do, but now she wishes she did. So she could say, I should have called Kim on her birthday. I hope she isn't hurt. I hope she doesn't feel bad. Tom, blah, 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 those embarrassing photos on the website. Okay, embarrassing, we know that embarrassing is kind of a bad feeling. It's a bad emotion. So we got a little bit of regret here. So shouldn't have posted. Okay, Tom shouldn't have posted those embarrassing photos on the website. Okay, last one for exercise 1. I apologize. We blah, 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 you, the meeting was canceled. Okay, we blah, 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 you, the meeting was canceled. Okay, should have told you. So apparently these people did not tell them that the meeting was canceled, but they should have. They should have done that. Okay, let's jump down here to exercise 2. Okay, let's cover this. Okay, I'll pop up the answer key again for you. Okay, there you go. Okay, now this is more of a dialogue here. We got a situation where people are talking to each other. So we use should have, shouldn't have, would have, or wouldn't have. Okay, I invited my neighbors over for dinner and they arrived over an hour late. Well, that doesn't sound good. Isn't that inconsiderate? What would you have done? So now somebody's asking the question, hey, what would you have done? Give some advice. I probably would have said or wouldn't have said anything. Okay, what would you have done? I probably wouldn't have said anything. I probably wouldn't have said anything. Really? I was so irritated. I was really upset. Next, at dinner, they asked how much money we make. Oh, I don't think that's a polite thing to ask. Okay, so it sounds like these people are really rude. I shouldn't have told them, but I was shocked that I did. So these people asked a very impolite question. Okay, I shouldn't have told them. I shouldn't have told them, but I was so shocked that I did. It sounds like this person actually told them. Okay, B, no way, but they really blah, blah, blah asked you that, but they shouldn't have asked you that. We know that that's rude. Okay, that's rude. Okay, then they got up and left in the middle of dinner. They should have stayed until the end. They should have stayed until the end, don't you think? Of course, I wouldn't have left early. I wouldn't have left early. Anyway, can you imagine? Have you ever done any of these things? So it sounds like these people were quite rude and very inconsiderate of their guests or of their hosts. So again, these words would have, should have, wouldn't have, shouldn't have are very important when you're talking about situations where you have regrets or you should have done something that you didn't do, or should have done something, or shouldn't have done something that you did. Okay, everybody? Okay, that's it for Unit 9. Okay, please go over this video and do those exercises on the pages that I showed you. And you guys are golden. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye.